So today is the very first day after spring break, and tomorrow's the big day for my students' writing test. It is the day of our FSA writing assessment. And this morning, I feel like a turtle. So this is a really neat narrative assignment that I had my students work on. Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. So today is the very first day after spring break, and I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to get up this morning and to even come to school today because the bed was telling me to stay in and take a little nap or sleep a little longer, and I was cranky. I have to admit, I was cranky, and I'm not a morning person, so it took me a little bit to get in to school. I come here early anyway. It's right now like 8 o'clock in the morning or close to 8:05 or something. I'm looking at my computer time there, but I am going to receive the students in about 15 minutes or so and get our day started. Now, because I know that they're probably feeling like I'm feeling this morning, it's gonna be an ease into the day kind of morning. I am having my usual daily language arts warm-up from One Stop Teacher Shop because I want to keep up with the routine that we're usually used to, but I am adding a fun activity this morning, and it's like a creative writing activity. Came to me this morning when I woke up. Are you like me that you get those inspirations either in the morning when you wake up or at night in a dream or something? Well, that's when the idea came to me, and I quickly created a sheet for them to go ahead and do it. Now, I didn't have to create a sheet. I could have just given them white sheet of paper, have them fold it in half like a booklet, and then had them go at it, but I wanted to give them lines so that they could write their story. Basically, they're gonna draw a picture about something they did during spring break or something that happened during spring break, and they're gonna write a little narrative story, creative story about that picture or that event. And before we end up getting the sheet though, I am gonna have the students do a group talk. So they will talk to each other about what they did during spring break. They'll share about those experiences. And then after giving them the opportunity to talk, then I'm gonna give them the sheet so that they can draw their picture and write their story. So I'm excited to do that. And we're also going to be reviewing last minute review for the writing because they've been away for 1 week. I did not give them a spring break packet. I just wanted them to be kids and enjoy life. And right now I have today and tomorrow to refresh their minds and everything related to FSA, which is Florida Standards Assessment, writing, essay writing, text-based writing, analytical writing, all that stuff, but in a fun way. So let's see how the day turns out. And I will be sure to take you along with me and show you clips or talk to you at the end of the day to let you know how it goes. So, getting ready to start my day by passing out their daily language arts warm-up, and I'll speak to you later. It's now the end of the day, and it actually has been a pretty good day. I know this morning I said I was feeling a little cranky and I was really missing my bed and didn't want to be here today because I was really tired. It's always hard to come back after a break, and guess what? The students felt the same way. So I'm glad that I structured the day in a way that they even themselves said at the end, wow, Monday went by pretty fast. That wasn't so bad. that's a win for us. So right now I want to just briefly show you some of the things that we were able to accomplish, including the sheet that I told you this morning about the spring break story. They didn't finish because I didn't want to give them more time after art. They ended up having recess after art, which is in our schedule. It's just sometimes we don't get to it. Then after lunch, we started working on anchor charts for opinion essays. So I want to showcase a couple of them that are not done but are off on the right track, and then all the other students have to finish. So they'll continue working on that tomorrow during Do Now, and tomorrow they'll create one for informative essay writing. So fun times. Now while they were doing that, we ended up doing our writing camp craft, which is a little pencil that I featured in last year's writing camp, which I'll link down below. But I want to show you how it came out this year. Last year I used smaller beads, which I'll show you in a moment, and this year I ended up using bigger ones because I couldn't find my small ones. It happens. So I ended up using some big ones that I had, and I made it work. You got to make it work with what you have. And of course, at the end of the day, we finished going over the math from chapter 13. So let me show you this right now. Here is the My Spring Break Story sheet that I created. This is where they draw their picture and they have their story space right here, and they can continue on the back as well. And like I told them, there's no structure in the way that I needed them to do this. It was very freestyle, creative writing. You could draw your picture first and then write the story, or write the story and then draw your picture. So basically is something about what they did during spring break. Now, the way that I actually started this activity was that I gave each student in each 4 cluster group 2 minutes to share something or a story that happened to them during spring break, and everyone else had to just listen. They couldn't ask questions, they couldn't address what they were saying, they couldn't add to it. They either could do a thumbs up, me too, they could nod, but they couldn't say anything. And I had the timer on the board from the iReady toolbox, from the Class Dojo toolbox, and everybody got to share before they went into the drawing the picture and writing their story. So they'll continue with that tomorrow. Now, these are the materials that I used to create this little craft, and mine has a pink bead because I ran out of red, so I ended up putting a pink one on mine. But basically, this is the Write the Rainbow pencil that I made. I just made this really simply on PowerPoint, and then went team by team while they were working with their anchor charts and had all the beads laid out. And the little book rings, I got these from Office Depot. These are the 1-inch ones. And then we fed the beads through the ring, closed it up, and have the pencil here. So after I made this pencil on PowerPoint, I laminated it, I cut it out, and I hole punched it with my star hole puncher. And that is what we did today for our craft, and the little extra something for the continuation of our writing camp. Now, to help the students come up with ideas for the anchor chart, I showed them this anchor chart that I made with Chelsey, the hipster art teacher, on IG, Instagram. I made this for the Teacher Heart Out Conference back in October in Miami, and I'll link that video down below so you can see the process and how I made it. And she gave us some tips on how to make anchor charts. So I was going over the same tips with the students, and I started showing them how to do their letters, and then we brainstormed and were reminded on what an opinion essay has and what it involves, so that they know what to include in their anchor charts. So now let me show you some of the students' examples. Here's a couple of them so that you can see how the students are crafting it. Now this is similar to the burger, but it's actually not a burger, it's an ice cream sandwich. And she went ahead and layered all the layers for the opinion essay. And here's another one. So I really like how they're using the space, how they're using pictures along with words. I also tell them not to do too many words because we don't want it to be too busy. We just want to get straight to the point of what we need to include in our opinion essays. And this is the last one that I also wanted to share with you. So that's basically the anchor charts that the students were working with today. So the last thing was a quick review of area and perimeter, which you can probably see behind me. I was using my flip chart and just writing on it just to review area, perimeter, what is each of them, and of course the formulas. And then after that, I went ahead and drew different kinds of rectangles on the board so that they can help me find the area and the perimeter, as well as adding combined rectangles so that they can find the area of it, either using addition, where you're finding the area of the separate rectangles and then adding them together, or you're using subtraction, where you're finding the area of the entire rectangle, then finding the area of the missing space, and then subtracting it, and you still yield the same answer. And then they had some pages to practice those concepts. So that's basically everything we did today. And it was a pretty productive day. I'm pretty happy with it. Now I have some black paper because I need to cover my room and make it test ready. We're not testing tomorrow, but they want us to have it all ready by today. I'm not gonna put my desk in rows until tomorrow after school because I just don't wanna deal with rows tomorrow during the day, but they will be placed in rows for the test on Wednesday. So right now I have to cover all of my rules above my board along with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to take out all the work from the bulletin boards. I'm gonna erase the focus walls, and I'm also gonna take the work out of there and cover our house shields on the top, and that's pretty much all I have to cover. Oh, and hi, Miss Guzman. Along with our Harry Potter growth mindset posters, those have to be covered too. So yeah, gotta get busy doing that. And I will probably see you tomorrow because I just want to do this and get going because I have a doctor's appointment to get to. So I'm gonna now move you on to Tuesday. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday. It is the day before the FSA test. And last night, or yesterday, it's not at night, but yesterday after I signed off, I went ahead and covered all the parts that I needed to cover in my classroom, thanks to the help of Miss Guzman, my student teacher. Thank you, Miss Guzman. I don't know how I could have done it that quickly without your help, but let me show you a quick view of how the classroom looks now. And unfortunately, this is how I'm gonna have to keep it until May 7th, which is the last day that we finish testing, because for me to put this up and then take it down to then put it back up again, it doesn't make sense. So this is how it's gonna be for now. So I covered my rules that are up here and our Pledge of Allegiance poster. I also went ahead and removed all of the student work that was on all of these bulletin boards, along with these two bulletin boards as well. I covered all our house shields and information because the kids can get ideas apparently from those things too. And I erased and took down the standards and information that was in our focus wall. I'm gonna do the same thing with our calendar, but with our calendar, all I have to do is turn the things around and so forth. But that's how my classroom is prepped for testing. Now, the last thing I have to do in order to get this room ready for testing tomorrow is to put my desk in rows, but I'm gonna just do that at the end of the day. And that's basically all there is to it. Now, we are going to have a dry run today so that the students can go to their testing locations. Fortunately, my students all test with me, but there are students around the school that test in different locations. So today is like a practice run so that they know exactly where to go. So we're gonna do that, and tomorrow's the big day for my students' writing test. And also, our third graders are taking their reading test tomorrow and Thursday. So best of luck to all the students across Florida who are testing and across all the states that are currently in the testing mode. Best of luck to you all. All right, I'm going to actually get ready for the day. I'm a little bummed because I was really trying to find my autism awareness shirt that I bought from the blue envelope, and I wanted to wear it today because today is Autism Awareness Day and I'm a mama of a child with autism, so I wanted to represent, but I couldn't find my shirt because my bedroom is a royal mess and I can hardly find anything in there. So note to self, time to organize that room, which is interesting because then the shirt that I ended up putting on because I was running late and I just needed to put something on, turned out to be my organized chaos is my jam shirt from Lipstick and Littles, which is so not how I'm feeling right now. But you know what? We're just gonna go with it. And we're just gonna roll with it and have a great day. So I'll finish a couple of things up before I let the students in about 10 minutes. And I'll catch up with you sometime later today. It's now the end of the day, and as you saw in the previous clips, the students were working on an assignment that I gave them on informational writing or informative writing. I wanted it to be a little different than the opinion one, only because I didn't want them to feel like, oh no, not another anchor chart that we have to make. So I gave them options like you saw in the previous clips, and they had also the option to work individually, with a partner, or with a group of 3 or 4 people. and I'm very happy with what they're making. They're excited to get it finished, which they want to do it on Thursday because, you know, tomorrow we're testing. And right now after school, I was working on checking other classrooms that are available because our room, I don't know if I shared this, I don't think I have, our room is hot again. So we've been having issues with our building's AC on and off this year. So right now I came back from spring break and the classroom is warm again. And I don't think, and I know that's not the best environment for students to take a test, especially a test like this that's important for their scores. So I was looking around the school for a classroom and I found one that somebody told me to check out. So at least tomorrow, if our AC is not working, which I don't think they're gonna get it fixed by tomorrow, we have an additional room that we can go to and have our test. So that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, I am actually getting ready to go because I have an appointment that I need to take my pets to, my 2 kitties, and I will make sure that I speak to you tomorrow. So now we're gonna take us on to Wednesday, which more than likely, if I don't say hello to you in the morning, it'll be after school, after the kids are done testing. So I will see you then. Good morning, everyone. So today is Wednesday, and it is the day of our FSA writing assessment. My room is set up, the students are outside waiting, but because the room is still hot, we're gonna test somewhere else this morning, and I'm actually very grateful for that. So I'm very excited to see how the students do. Actually, I can't see how they do, and I don't know how they're gonna do, but I will send out some well wishes out there for them so that they do the best job that they can, and they take all the skills that we've learned this year and just put it into practice. And that's all we can just hope for and wish for, so that's how I'm gonna roll with it today. All right, so I am actually gonna do a couple of things just to get ready for today. And I'll probably catch up with you at the end of the day since we don't really have any breaks today other than lunch. So see you then. But before I go, check out the room. So as you can see, all the desks are in rows, but it's not gonna stay like this because when we get back into the classroom at some point when it's all clear, we'll put them back into groups. But I did have to set it up like this before I knew where I was going to test, but there it is, and so it is. All right, so now I'm gonna get going and I'll see you later. It's now the end of the day and the students had a great testing session. We are done with our FSA writing assessment. After we were done with our test, we went to lunch and then the students started seeing The Incredibles 2 as a little treat after the test since we only had like an hour left in school. And it was very good that we tested in that other room because it was more comfortable than our current room, even though it's starting to feel like it's getting cooler because the principal did let me know that the vendor was in the building trying to correct the error with the AC system. So hopefully by tomorrow, the room will feel cooler than it is now. And I am so tired. I am not going to put these desks back together yet. They're still in rows, even though we didn't test in here, but I'm gonna leave it like this. It's already about 4:30. I am tired. I'm gonna go home. So I don't think I'm gonna end the vlog yet. I think I'm just gonna put this all this week, all 5 days into one video. Hopefully it's not too long, and I'm sorry if it is, because I won't know how long it is until I put all the video clips together and start editing. Fun. So I'm going to gather my things, and tomorrow it is going to be a regular school day. We're gonna go ahead and do our reading. We're going back to Wonders because now we are trying to catch up on the units that I put a pause on while we were doing our writing review. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. It's gonna be poetry, so I'm very excited. Some really good poems about family, traditions, and culture, and how our family kind of like helps us determine our identity. So a lot of little interesting things happening in that unit, and I can't wait to share it with the students. All right, so let me get going, and I will see you all tomorrow, Thursday. Good morning and welcome to Thursday. And this morning, I feel like a turtle. I'm moving so slowly. I don't know if it's because the rain is calling me to stay home under a nice cozy blanket, or if it's just that I'm just exhausted, or maybe all of the above. But I stayed in my car for like 20 minutes this morning, and yeah, it was raining, but I could have gotten out, but whatnot. I got into the classroom a little later than usual, and the desks are still in rows, and I have to let the students in. So I'm just gonna reorganize the desks once the kids are in, because I'm just moving like a turtle today. All right, I'll see you later. It's now the end of the day. The students have been dismissed. And we're about to sit down and have our reflection time with Ms. Guzman because tomorrow she has to go to a very important meeting, so she will not be with us. So let's go ahead and do that now. So now I want to share with you the book that I read to the students, Red Kite, Blue Kite, and the 2 videos that I showed them, and I'll be sure to link those in the description box below as well. So here it is. Here's the book, Red Kite, Blue Kite. It's by Jilin Jiang, illustrated by Greg Ruth, and basically this is the little blurb of it. It's about a father and son that love to fly kites, and then the bad thing comes, which is the Cultural Revolution in China. And on the back, the author also provides a note that kind of gives the students a little bit more background as to how they wrote the story, what was their inspiration, and it's just filled with so many beautiful pictures. Let me show you. So here is the first picture, how the dad and the son are flying the kites at the top of the roofs in China. And this is something that the son really loves. It's told from the perspective of the child, so it's first-person narration. And it's just beautiful illustrations, and the story is really captivating. I have to admit that I had to kind of like be strong because there were some parts that I really was about to cry, and it was like, but it does have a happy ending, so don't worry. See, happy ending. Actually, this part's a little sad, but then there's a happy ending. And yeah, it's a beautiful story, and it just went perfectly with the kite poem that I read to my students today for the read aloud, the listening comprehension. And also it goes with the essential question of how a person's identity is shaped by their family and culture. So beautiful, beautiful book. I'll be sure to link it down below. So now let's go to the videos. So this is the video, is Sesame Street, Will.i.am sings What I Am, so that you can kind of see the beginning of it.
If what I am is what's in me, then I'll stay strong, that's who I'll be. And I will always be the best me that I can be. There's only one me, I admit. Have a dream, I'll follow it. It's up to me to try.
So it's really, really cute. I really liked it. Like I said, the students at first were like giggling because they saw the Muppets, but after they kept hearing the song, again, it's only like 1:51 seconds. They wanted to hear it again, and it's a really great inspirational song. So now let me show you about the Famous Failures video that I showed them. This is it.
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried.
And then they show it's Michael Jordan. I'll show you one more.
He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much.
And that's Albert Einstein. So the students were really surprised, and they really liked seeing this because one of them even said, yeah, we know they're famous, but we don't know about the struggles that they've had. I'm like, yeah, but you should know that all famous people, or all people that have some kind of success, didn't just get the success instantly. They had to really try hard and overcome many obstacles before they got to where they are now, or were at the time that they were making their impact in the world. So I needed to do that as a form of inspiring and motivating the students to try their best, and that it's okay when things are not going their way as far as academics, or they don't get something, or they feel like they're failing at something. That doesn't mean that's the end of the road for them. That's only a little stumbling block, a little bump in the road that they need to overcome and keep going. So it was a moment that I needed to have with them. I call it like my little TED Talk or soapbox moment, where I just started talking and inspiring all of them. And like I said, I felt like it was very important, and I'm glad that I did it. And I'll continue to speak life and love on these kids because they're very special and important, and I want them to achieve all that they can achieve in this life. All right, so with that, I gotta go because I have to take my son home and then go to my university for a very special event tonight. It's a gathering for my PhD program, and Mr. David Lawrence is going to be there. The school that I work in is named after him, so he's going to be there and making an appearance and speaking, so I want to be there as well. All right, so I will catch up with you tomorrow. Now I'm going to move you on to Friday. Good morning. Welcome to Friday. So last night after I signed off on the vlog, I went to my university because they had a PhD gathering for the program that I'm in, which is curriculum and instruction. And it was very good to be around my professors and the people that are in my dissertation committee because it's helping me to get me going and pushing me into hopefully finishing my dissertation in 1 year and being able to graduate next year. That is my goal right now, and I really want to pursue it. After that, we had a little event with David Lawrence, and I was able to hear him be interviewed and speak about the book that I mentioned that I got a copy of back in December, which I'll link the vlog down below or put a card up here somewhere. And it was great to see him again and speak to him and also listen to him. I have a little clip of that event. It's just a very small clip because I really loved also the stage of where the event was. It has like these like comic books. And that was the event that I went to last night. At the event, Barry University gave everyone who attended a free copy of his book, and he was able to autograph it. But because I already have a copy of the book myself that he autographed to me, I had him autograph the book to my son. Now, I work at the school that's named after him, and my son has attended the school since he was in kindergarten, and right now he's a junior in high school. So I thought it would be a really nice thing to give to my son. All right, the students are about to come in this morning, and they're going to continue working on a writing assignment that I started yesterday with them as a connection to the Wonders unit that we're currently doing right now on how a person develops their identity based on their life experiences, their family, their culture, etc. Let me show you my example so that you can kind of see how we started it yesterday. And then maybe I can take some clips of the students continuing to work on it this morning. So let's do that now. So I basically gave all the students a white sheet of paper and I had them fold it in half like a booklet and then down half again so that they can have this 4-quadrant box and they can use the folds to draw the lines. And then I had them write the title, Events That Have Influenced Me. And I wanted them to brainstorm at least 3 different things in their life that have influenced them. Now, to give this example, I went ahead and thought back to my 4th grade self and what life events have happened to me by the time that I was 10 to before that. So I wrote all of these down. And then I had students go ahead and circle one of those events and then draw a picture related to that event or memory. Then they're going to write a little bit about it. And over here in the last one, they don't know this yet, they're going to choose one word that really stands out from that memory or that influence. And they're going to write it nice and big here, just one word, and they're going to make it nice and beautiful. So that is what the students are going to be working on this morning. We started that yesterday, and now it's time to let them in. So I'll see you soon. It's now the end of the day, and it has been a really good day. I have to say, much better than yesterday. Of course, there were a few behaviors here and there, but it was very manageable today, and we did get through reading, writing, math, and science. So that is a definite win. We didn't do social studies today because I needed to get through the science lesson, and also Ms. Guzman is going to be teaching that social studies chapter, and she wasn't here today, like I mentioned. She's at a very important meeting, and next week she'll be able to teach that chapter. So today in math, we were reviewing how to find the unknown measurement when we are dealing with area and perimeter. But the one that I needed the students to really practice on is the one where they had the perimeter, they had one side, and they needed to figure out the other side. So I put some sample problems on the board, and then they kept working on it independently, doing the practice/homework page. And after that, they went ahead and did the last lesson of chapter 13. So we're officially done with chapter 13, which was how to find the area when we are dealing with situations like somebody wants to cover a playground with grass, but there's the sandbox that won't be covered with grass. So they have to find out the area of the entire playground, the area of the sandbox, and subtract that sandbox area from the total area to find the area that the grass will go on. So that's what we did today. We'll practice on Monday before they take the topic assessment. And these are the problems that I did on the board very quickly so we can go over that perimeter problem where they had to find the unknown measurement. So So I just made these two rectangles on the board, and of course the red is what we ended up figuring out. The blue and the green was what the problem said. So if the perimeter is 32 inches and one of the sides is 7, what is the length? So they have to work the perimeter formula backwards. So they have to first add 7 plus 7 and subtract that from the total perimeter. That gets 18. And because a rectangle has opposite sides are the same length, it's the same number, so we just half it because it's two sides that equal 18. So 18 divided by 2, it's 9, and that's how we got that. And I tell the students, whenever you do this, make sure you check your work. So you check your work by adding all of these numbers together, and they should get 32, and that's how they know they're correct. So then I gave them another one over here. That is the same thing. We have 2, so 2 plus 2 is 4. 24 minus 4 is 20, and then 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 10 meters is the other one. So that is a problem that they were working today. Now, the activity that I shared this morning with the events that have influenced their lives, they pretty much finished it. I mean, most of the students did finish it. You saw clips of the students working on it, and you saw the example that I ended up creating. I ended up doing a digital one too, so let me show you that one. So these are the directions that I put digitally on the board so that when they separate their paper, like you saw that I mentioned earlier, this is where they write a list of different events that have, or memories that have influenced them. I also included a definition of the word influence in case they are not sure what it means. And then I told them the directions on how to complete this box. Then after that, they moved to the bottom of this, and this is where they drew the picture related to the memory that they circled. And I made sure I told them to use the full box and color it completely. Then over here, they write a short, brief story or narrative telling about that event, and then one word that really stands out from that story to then create like a word art on it. And they didn't have to color the background in this if they didn't want to, but basically they want the word to stand out. So this is my example, and what I did is I took a picture of my drawing from my original paper, and then I just inserted it into the PowerPoint. This is a list of my events. This is my little story, and this is the word that comes out when I think about that memory. So let me show you the final example on my actual paper because I really like the lettering that I did for the word worthy. I did show a clip of this earlier, so you already saw how I did the hand lettering of it, but as you can see, this is my grandparents' house or my drawing of it. This is the same story that you saw typed. It did fit in my box because I did write small, and this is my hand lettering for the word worthy, and I really like how that came out. So this is a really neat narrative assignment that I had my students work on, and now the next thing they need to do is just share it with their teams, and then some of them will share it with the class. As far as reading goes, we had another great conversation on 5 different poems and their wonders, which still dealt with identity and dealing with different ways that our families and events in life influence us, and also dealing with our figurative language of personification, metaphor, and imagery. The students were able to do that. They did their selection test. And then we also read another poem, Me as a Mountain, which is a metaphor of a person comparing themselves to something that represents who they are or how they see themselves. And the students absolutely loved it. Now, we really dissected that poem a lot, and I accidentally closed my Active Inspire flip chart where I had all my notes on top of the paper. I wanted to show you, but I didn't get to. Sorry, my bad. But basically, I had them number their stanzas. We went stanza by stanza and wrote little words that symbolized what each stanza represented. And we really, really dissected that poem so that they understood the symbolism and how the parents were there to support the person and how our parents help us become who we are. So that was the main gist of that. They found the theme, they answered 3 questions, and that was pretty much the end of our reading lesson. So that is, in a nutshell, is what we did today, and I'm really proud of the work that they were able to accomplish. So now I'm gonna get going because I have a meeting with the chair for my dissertation, and I'm going to start working on it and getting everything done that I need to get done with that. All right, so with that, I will leave you for this entire week. I hope the video wasn't too long, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.